Hello, Conscious Mothers Rising. My name is Andrea. I am coming live to you to talk about how you can become unstoppable. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story of becoming unstoppable and tell you about what I'm going to be teaching in the upcoming sessions, tools that you can implement in your own life as well. And so, who am I? First of all, well, my name is Andrea Kay. I am a mompreneur of 4 from Pennsylvania. So I'm a home birthing, unschooling mompreneur. And Dad was so gracious. He has 3 children outside. The older one's still in here with me today. And so we're all moms here, Conscious Mothers Rising, right? And so you might hear some cries or some coos or some noise in the background, and that's a big thing for me because I feel it's part of my mission and purpose to inspire and empower other moms to know that it's okay, mama, we get it, like we all have kids, and that's what makes you unstoppable, is understanding that it's progress over perfection. What is perfect anyway? Like, according to whose standards, So, actually, I'm not perfect is one of 6 self-sabotaging beliefs. And so, truth is that you are perfect exactly as you are. So I'm Andrea, I'm a mompreneur, all those things. Yes, these are identities in this lifetime that I have associated with and things that I've become. See, I believe whatever we place after I am, we become. And so in January 2020, I decided to become a coach so I'd have tools to help people with mindset affordably. Was key for me. That's always been my intention. And since then, so I consider myself to be a quantum manifestation coach and spiritual mindset mentor. I'm a super conscious creator and transformation accelerator. I help you awaken to your divine soul truth, find your purpose, and take your power back. I believe that we are all powerful creators connected to God, source, universe, infinite intelligence, whatever you choose to call this divine, innate wisdom and intelligence that lies within each and every one of us. And we have access to it, this creative source, through the quantum field, an infinite field of possibilities and limitless potential for our lives. And so since January 2020, I have studied mindset and the power of the mind. And I did the Akashic Records. I did NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, how to rewire the language in the mind, the subconscious mind specifically. I later learned that there's actually a level of mind outside of that, the superconscious, which is more powerful, and I'll get into that. So I did NLP, EFT, emotional freedom tapping technique, which is one of the techniques I will show you in one of the videos, where you use tapping to release stress and trapped emotions from the body. I did hypnotherapy, time techniques, and if none of this is familiar to you, that's totally fine. Just to give you a sense of who I am, what I've studied, where I'm coming from, my journey, my experience so far. These are all tools and techniques that you can use to rewire, reset the brain, and heal and transform on very deep levels. And then I also did a transformational course in the alchemy of integrative coaching. I started studying quantum physics, which is basically the science of how our inner world creates our outer world. And that led me to that other course that I took, a master course, and ultimately to the magnetic mind method, because lo and behold, our mind is a magnet. And according to the laws of attraction, which is one of the laws of the universe that govern this reality, our mind's a magnet. We attract according to what we believe, think, and feel. And we're emitting a signal, a frequency, a vibration into this quantum field, and it's mirrored and reflected back to us in physical reality. So quantum physics, epigenetics, neuroscience is actually very advanced science that I use now to rewire the brain, the programs that we've been conditioned into, that we're running off of unconsciously, unconscious habits and patterns So by the time we are 35 years old, 90% of what we do is based off of just unconscious patterns and thoughts and feelings and emotions and things that we're just repeating over and over, and has to deal with trauma and generational trauma, things that have been passed down. It's literally trapped in our DNA. And so change can be difficult because we're not wired for change. Truth is, we're living, breathing biological software, and our minds are so powerful. We just have to unlearn and relearn. We have to unwire and rewire. We have to relearn who we actually are, what we're capable of, because we're capable of far more. And I'm going to give my little disclaimer here as well. I always encourage everyone to do their own research and form their own beliefs, because our beliefs are powerful. They create your reality. So take what resonates and leave the rest. I always say, if your beliefs are serving you well, if you're creating and living a life that you love, more power to you. But if you're not, we have to take a look at our mindset, because our mindset creates our reality. And so that's just my little disclaimer, because we all have different, perspectives depending on where you're born, your culture, societal beliefs, family beliefs, religious beliefs, things like that, right? So basically, let's get into this. How do you become unstoppable? And how do you attract the things that you want? How do you make your dreams reality, which is what I've been seeing unfold in my own life since I set these intentions and started studying these things. And I want to mention as well, I am now also attending the Maharishi International University for my bachelor's degree in consciousness and human potential. So it's always been my intention to help people awaken to higher levels of their own potential, and my personal mission to transform the world one person at a time, starting with myself. And of course, that is the way to create true change and transformation, is one by one. Like Rumi said, the greatest gift we can give the world is that of our own transformation. As within, so without. That's another thing. Your inner world creates your outer world. I do quote the Hebrew Bible. I believe it's like a book of metaphysics. Meta means above the physical. It's teaching us how to live according to the spirit. And it has a lot of knowledge and wisdom in there. And we just have to have a level of spiritual discernment. And we all see it differently, like I said, depending on the filters, the paradigm that we're in. A paradigm is simply a collection of beliefs. What you believe to be true for yourself, for others, and for the world, ultimately. And that varies for everyone, depending on, again, your own personal experience, things that you've been through, how you perceive the world, right? The stories that you're telling yourself, the stories that you've been told, the things that have been passed down. Like I said, this is, information is passed down generationally in your DNA. So ultimately, though, how do you become unstoppable? Progress over perfection, and understanding that just start. You don't have to be great to get started, but you must get started to be great. Just start where you're at with what you have, what you're given. No excuses. Like, my thing has always been, do it with your babies, for your babies. You guys, I said I have 4. I have an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old. I had actually 5 miscarriages before having my children. And then I had a C-section, and then a VBAC, a vaginal birth after cesarean, and 2 unassisted home births. Very powerful experiences. That's, I believe, part of becoming a conscious mother and parent, mother more so, in this new earth, raising new earth children. We're moving into this new earth that I believe we're awakening to that infinite power and potential within us, and realizing that we've been, like I say, dumbed down, drugged up, and disempowered, into these systems, this narrative of the world that's based on fear, and love is the only truth. Fear is an illusion, false evidence appearing real. Danger is real, but fear is a choice. We get to choose. We're beings of free will and choice. So we get to choose what we create. We get to choose what we think. We get to choose how we feel. And as you believe in your heart, so shall it be done. And as a man thinketh, so shall he become. And your thoughts, your beliefs really are creating your reality. Your words, the things that you're putting out. Because Everything is information and energy, and that quantum field, your words are mirrored and reflected back to you. Like I said, everything you place after I am, you become. And so really quickly as well, just since doing January 2020 and starting this work and going through my own spiritual awakening and stepping more into my own spiritual gifts and beginning to understand them more and more, because a basic truth here, we're all just spiritual beings having a human experience. We're here to experience life, learn, grow, expand, and evolve, to reach higher levels of human potential. It's a journey to know thyself, to love thyself, to forgive yourself, help yourself. You can see my sweater here, right? It's a journey. Love yourself, know yourself, help yourself, be yourself, trust yourself. To know, who am I? This awakening that is taking place right now, we're seeing so many women, this feminine energy coming back, so many women stepping into their power. We're seeing, more, we are seeing more home births. We're seeing more women who want to homeschool their children, who want to work from home. And this is all part of this new earth and the Conscious Mothers Rising movement. And I'm so grateful to be here and to have this opportunity to get to speak with you all today. And so since doing this work in January 2020, I have seen incredible things unfold and manifest in my own reality. And becoming unstoppable is your why, not focusing on the how is this all going to take place. I didn't know in January 2020 when I set the intention, Andrea K. Shive, transformational life and success coach, intuitive healer and Reiki master. I didn't know what lied ahead. I just took one massive leap of faith after another, and following my calling, my passion. Follow your passion to find your purpose. That is going to be your driving force. Okay? It's going to keep you going. Your why. You've heard this before, I'm sure. Your why. Why are you doing it? Because that is going to pull you through and truly make you unstoppable. And the whole thing, I think I mentioned my motto, do it with your babies, for your babies. Not making excuses. So I can't do it because I have kids. Or what makes you unstoppable, like I said, is doing what you can when you can. So we are moving into this new earth. We are awakening. We are taking our power back. We are becoming unstoppable. And so again, since doing this work, January 2020, setting this intention and going through my own personal awakening and growing, learning, expanding, evolving, just growing over these past 4 years, going on 4 years. This year, momentum has really kicked in, you guys. So understanding too that consistency is key, that there's a process to creation. The day you plant the seed isn't the day that you eat the fruit. Plant the seed, you have to germinate, cultivate, and then the harvest. But you always reap what you sow according to the laws of the universe, the laws of compensation, right? So most people tend to give up, if it takes too long, because we do live in this 3D reality where it takes time to move through space. It takes time to move from one point of consciousness to another. So, I always say the day you plant the seed isn't the day you eat the fruit. And so it's a journey, trusting that process and just trusting and developing a deep faith in whatever force you believe in, whatever you choose to call it, and pressing forward in that vision, a vision of the future. Your vision, man without vision will perish. Vision, you're like a ship without a rudder. You are lost, wandering aimlessly. If you don't know where you're going, you're never going to get there, right? So you need that vision, that why, that sense of purpose. Why are you doing what you do? Okay, so for me, it's been this calling to help awaken humanity, to create heaven on earth. Because I believe that is how powerful we are. That collectively, since we are living in this narrative of fear, we believe in a world of war, poverty, sickness, scarcity, lack, division, separation, and so it is. That's what we create. So we can shift our focus and our attention to something new, something greater, from fear to love, from ego to soul, material to spirit, lack and scarcity to abundance. Because we are energy, where focus goes, energy flows. What we focus on expands. Okay? And so creating that vision and taking steps, I had to take steps and leaps and bounds and trust the process. Trust your purpose. And you're a pure creative spirit. And your purpose is to simply express that creativity in the most authentic way possible. So you get to be you. Who are you? So not who the world told you to be. Who are you? Who are you? Who do you want to be? You get to choose. You can completely reinvent yourself. Develop that why, that vision, get crystal clear on what you actually want in your life without limitations. Because we're taught limitations. Truth is, there are no limitations except the ones that we place on ourselves. Right? So I keep forgetting to say this, but because it's not the me show. I do what I do. We're all here to share our experience, to be of service and help others. All right? So to inspire, right? And so momentum has kicked in. January 2020, I really started my coaching journey. My awakening started really a couple years before that, and really in November 2017, when I joined an online wellness company and really began my personal development journey and started learning about mindset. Holy shift. And then 2 years in, that's when I decided I want to become a coach, because I want to have actual tools to help people shift their mindset, to be able to create the business or whatever they desire, the time and financial freedom, to be a more conscious parent, to the house, the car, the relationship, the money, all the things, because we deserve it. And for no other reason, because we get to choose to live a life that we love. And part of living a life that we love is not struggling. So struggling and suffering have been an unconscious choice that we've been making because of some of these beliefs that we have that are unconscious, and the DNA and the generational curses and the thing that's been passed down. Okay, so, and the programs, we're just running off of unconscious programming. Carl Jung said, until the unconscious becomes conscious, it'll rule your life, and you'll call it fate. Jesus said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Dr. Joseph Murphy, the author of The Power of the Subconscious Mind, said, until ignorance is the only sin, and suffering is the consequence. Right? So we can have anything that we desire. We can have, be, and do anything. So how do you become unstoppable? You create that vision. You move towards it. You expect miracles. You keep faith. You don't make excuses. You take aligned action. Faith without works is dead. You're the vessel for that creative source, but you must take the action. Okay, so take the action. There's a whole process to it. I'll tell you about that a little bit at the end. The 5 steps to conscious creation, the 3 levels of mind. But since doing this work, and then January 2020, and the momentum kicking in this year, you guys, I was featured in Becoming an Unstoppable Woman magazine. Unstoppable has been the word this year. An article on gratitude in the December issue of Becoming an Unstoppable Woman magazine. And then 2 books this year, A Dream Big, Do Bigger, Build the Bridge Between Your Dreams and Reality. My chapter, it's an anthology. There's 23 authors in that book. My chapter is called Holy Shift, I Am the Bridge. We're the bridge between our dreams and reality. We're powerful creators. We get to choose. We're women. We create life. We're the bridge between the spiritual and the material world. We are so powerful. So powerful. We create life. If we create life, we're powerful creators. We can create Anything. It starts here. Think in our mind, you can hold it in your hand. Thoughts become things, but we need the feeling too. You need the thought and the emotion. It's called coherence. You need both. 3 virtual summits this year. One of this is Becoming Unstoppable. There was another one called Becoming Unstoppable, the Girl on Fire Summit. The other book that's coming out is actually called Motherhood Unfiltered. 130 authors in that book, ages 15 to 91. We're each telling our chapter about motherhood. Like I said, my personal experience going from a C-section to a VBAC to, 5 miscarriages to a C-section to a VBAC to 2 unassisted home births. And that coming out, became an expert in the Empowered Moms community on the award-winning Peanut app, which has been amazing. I'm connecting with some amazing people on there. Just lots of things. Growth in my business, personal growth, in relationships, just lots of amazing things happening, right? Since doing this work, as within, so without. You work on yourself to become the best version of you, and that's when things change. You must change for things to change. Nothing changes if nothing changes, right? So all these amazing things this year, and I'm eternally grateful for how far I have come. And I want to get into the process that I use, though. All this, and it led up to this, the Magnetic Mind Method, the 5 steps to conscious creation. So how do you become unstoppable? You realize you're a conscious creator. You're creating your reality. Okay, so you have the power through the infinite I am, source, God, universe, divine intelligence, infinite creator, whatever you choose to call it. I think that when we try to figure it all out, and label it and put it into a box, and that limits all that this truly is. I mean, it's pretty magnificent. All of creation is divine. We're divine. We are miracles, living, breathing, walking, talking, miracles. We create life. Again, we are life. We create life. So, energy, the breath of life. Everything is energy, frequency, vibration, you guys. And I believe God is love, the highest frequency or vibration in the universe. When we vibrate on the frequency of love, we're one with God. We're one with that source, with all things good. This is the place where all things good come from, where peace comes from. Peace, joy, enthusiasm, inspiration, oneness, connected, unity. We're all connected to this field and to each other, like Pocahontas said. Or the circle of life and all the things, like, there's messages all over it too. When you're tuned in and connecting in third eye and connecting in spiritually and all the things, you'll see the synchronicities. You'll see the messages. You'll understand that it is all divine and it does speak to you. Whatever you choose to call it. And so, how do you become unstoppable? Develop that vision and become a warrior. Okay, I like to consider myself to be like Wonder Woman, a warrior of truth. This is what I believe to be universal, absolute truth. That we're the creators of our own reality. We're all connected to this infinite creative source, and we get to choose. We get to choose what we create based on our mindset. So create that vision. Work on your mindset. That is so important. How do you become unstoppable? It's a mindset. How do you create an unstoppable mindset? The vision, the why, and remove what's in the way. How to remove what's in the way. How do you reprogram? How do you rewire? How do you remove the emotions? Well, check out, the sessions that I did. Those are just some techniques and some modalities and ways. There's many ways. It's a journey. You got to find what works for you. You can, have a coach or a guide or a mentor, watch videos, read books, all the things. You're here to learn, grow, expand, and evolve. Whatever that means for you. Find what you're passionate about. And go for it. Go for it. Straightforward, nonstop. Right? So the 5 steps to conscious creation. Based in neuroscience, epigenetics, and quantum physics. Alongside spiritual concepts of alchemy, hermetic principles, and universal law. What is alchemy? Alchemy is the transmutation of energy. It is taking a negative and turning it to a positive using the power of love. to create miracles in your life consistently. Okay? And alchemy, you've probably heard of it, led to gold. It's taking your pain and turning it to power and purpose, your lessons and experience from life, turning it into knowledge and wisdom moving forward, breaking free from those unconscious patterns, beliefs, thoughts, feelings, emotions, healing the trauma, the stuff, and getting the lesson, breaking the karmic loops, cycles, and patterns, and moving forward, breaking the generational curses, y'all. Yes, this is what we're doing here. This is the work that we're doing. And this is what the neuroscience, epigenetics does on a cellular level, the quantum physics. It tells us the inner world creates the outer world. And so we can rewire, we can recode our DNA, we can access higher levels of potential. It's not junk DNA. They say we have junk DNA. The Creator did not make us with junk. It's dormant. So you can activate your DNA to reach higher levels of potential. Okay? So, the 5 steps to conscious creation, you get to choose. But first, let's go over the 3 levels of mind. There's 3 levels to your memory or mind. You're just running off of that the memory, the unconscious programs. A memory is simply an experience attached to an emotion. And specifically with trauma, it's a really heavy emotion. It's so heavy that your body cannot metabolize it like it normally would. So it creates a protein, sticks it in that protein, and that protein attaches to your DNA. And that's how it becomes trauma, and it's connected to your DNA, and your body doesn't get rid of it like it normally would. Okay? So we're living off of these memories, and every time you think of a memory, that feeling comes up, it releases chemicals in your mind, and literally keeps you trapped, addicted to ways of thinking, being, and doing, firing and wiring the same things in your brain, releasing the same chemicals, and it's just the same thing on repeat over and over. And that's the definition of insanity, right? So your ego is formed in the first 7 years of life. Children are like a sponge. This is important, in a very low hypnotic brainwave states like delta and theta, and absorbing information like a sponge, right? We've all heard that before. And so that forms your ego in those first 7 years of life. And then there's all the stuff that's been passed down as well. Epigenomic imprinting actually tells us thoughts, feelings, and emotions of both parents are encrypted into the DNA weeks before conception. So if they're angry or mad or arguing about money, that child will be encrypted with information to survive in an environment of lack. Talk about not being set up for excess, but ultimately everything's working in our favor for our highest good. So it's all good. So that forms your ego, first 7 years of life. By the time you're 35, your subconscious or your unconscious is running 90% of the program. Okay? You're just running off of habits and programming. Same thing, the old self. You got to put off the old self to take on the new self with a new mindset created to be like God. Be not conformed to the ways of the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You have to be bold, fearless, courageous, going for something out of the norm, stepping out of the status quo, moving away from the old self, the old earth, the old ways of being, that old earth of fear and war and poverty and sickness. No. The secret to change isn't to focus on fighting that, but on creating the new, because we're creators. What we focus on, we create. So we got to break free from that programming. How do we do that? Well, there's a 3rd level of memory or mind. It's called your superconscious. It's outside of your subconscious memory. You go right to the source and you rewire. You send the information to the superconscious, because superconscious sends the information to the subconscious. So we rewire so much faster than working with the subconscious alone. So you hear a lot of people talk about working with the subconscious. Superconscious is far more powerful. Neuroscience and epigenetics are revolutionizing the field of psychology and what they previously thought was possible as far as breaking down long-term memory and healing, and we can do it so much faster. Connecting in with the superconscious. So how do we do that? 5 steps. You choose what you want to create. You imagine it. You feel it. You create that vision. You imagine what it would look like, what it would feel like, because that brings you into coherence. Clear intention, elevated emotions such as gratitude. The emotional signature of gratitude is it's already done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so feeling that it's already done will attract it to you. Your mind will become the magnet. It's called priming. That's one of the tools that I teach you. I believe that we go over as well a little bit, the miracle action plan. Okay, you want to get clear, do your miracle action plan and start implementing these things in your life. My lighting has been like going so in and out, you guys. But who cares? This is the thing. Progress over perfection. This is my first one, totally off script. This is me, Andrea. That's who I am. I get to be who I am, and so do you. You get to choose. You feel it. All right, and then you ask yourself, compared to that, where am I now? That brings up the gap. Where you are, where you want to be, the structure, the 2 points. So I choose to live a life that I love, but I can't because why? And that triggers like a mini dark night of the soul. Dark night of the soul is the first stage of alchemy. It's where everything comes up to your awareness to be healed, transmuted, purified. Then that's the second stage. So the black is when everything comes up. The white is the purification and healing stage. And the red is the last one, is the integration, where you integrate it into your being and you move forward as one powerful identity, which we do in this process as well. So you choose it. You ask yourself, where am I now? I can't have it because I can't live a life that I love because of what happened to me, all these things. It doesn't run in my family. Money's hard. I don't have the time. I'm not worthy. I'm not enough. I'm insignificant. I don't belong. I'm not perfect. And I'm not capable. And all these things start coming up, triggering them into the field. Perfect. That's exactly, we got it where we want it. Now we connect in with the superconscious. All right. This is the fourth step. Superconscious transformation recode. This is where I come in and help walk you through this process to make it more enjoyable. It's just more, you can do it on yourself. If you want to learn, I can teach you. You can ask me about it and how we can go about you learning it. I do have a program that I created where you do learn that process. And I come in, Superconscious Transformation Recode method, connecting in with your permission to recode. And I touch on beliefs, emotions, stories, structures, identities, the chakras, every cell, your activate DNA, all of the things literally that come up to be recoded. And how is this done? It's not just woo-woo. This is neuroscience and epigenetics. Literally, it's rewiring your brain, rewiring the programs, because you break down the old ones. When you no longer use the programs, the connections begin to break down. And when you learn, you're creating new connections. And the more you continue to do this, those connections become stronger and they create the programs. So you create new programs, right? So we get rid of the old ones, out with the old, in with the new. Hope you're following. This is a lot of information, you guys. And so it's 45 minutes, So definitely, obviously, if you want to learn more, please reach out and I'll let you know what I have to offer. But this is all just, I love talking about this. It's my passion, it's my mission, it's my purpose, it's my calling to help awaken more people. And we are awakening, and we are so powerful. And it's such a beautiful time to be alive and living through this, right? And so outside of that, though, is, I say you're super conscious. So I connect in with super conscious, do the super conscious transformation recode to help you release and integrate and heal and all of the things. Touch on events, past life events. It's very, very, very powerful, all-encompassing process. I use time techniques. I said events. You can literally go back to a moment in time and space where maybe you made a decision that was limited, or you learned something that was a limited, experience that caused trauma. Or it's very, very, very powerful. The epigenetics tells us that we can do this on a cellular level through our minds by imagining the new reality and triggering our cells. Literally create proteins, new proteins. Our cells will restructure. Your cells are listening to every single thought, every word, every belief is structuring your cells in every moment of your life, right? They're all just energy cells vibrating on different frequencies, right? And so you have to shift, and I help you to shift. I'm all about making the shift. Shift your paradigm, shift your beliefs, shift your emotions, shift your shit, okay? Holy shift. You shift the inner world, and the outer world changes. Holy shift. It's been me the whole time. And you start to awaken to that truth, okay? That awareness. I am that I am. And, all right, so do the recode. And the fifth and final step in conscious creation is simply to go out and take the aligned action. So how do you become unstoppable? You work on yourself. You do the work. You do the inner work, whatever that is for you. Find what works for you and implement it in your life. Take what resonates, leave the rest. It's a journey. Trust the process. Develop a deep sense of faith and knowing and purpose, and strive to be the best version of yourself, and work for love, not money, and the money will come. And just do what you love. Follow your passion to find your purpose. Your purpose will provide you provision. You are a being of free will and choice. You get to choose what you create, and there are no limitations. You can have, be, and do anything that you desire. And so not only are we awakening, wanting to become more conscious parents, but we're conscious creators. That's what actually the Magnetic Mind Method comes from. Conscious education is where I got that certification, based in Australia. Of course, I did it from online. Again, I am from Pennsylvania, so I didn't go to Australia. I would love to in the future. I choose the end result of visiting Australia. So we get to choose and remove what's in the way, and then just take the aligned action, and we become the magnet, and we begin to flow towards it easily and effortlessly. Think of it like a river. If you want to go towards this desired reality, but there's rocks all in the way, and it keeps getting, it's hard, you're not flowing. You're stuck. You could be stuck, or maybe you're oscillating. Maybe you're a little forward and then you get pulled back because old identities are like, hey, it's not safe to be successful, or it's not safe over there to have that. You can't have it because of this. Get back here where it's safe, in your comfort zone, because your unconscious mind just wants to keep you safe and comfortable and alive. But we're not here to just survive. We're here to thrive. Okay? We are quantum beings. Multidimensional quantum beings of pure unconditional love and light. And we get to choose. And love is the answer. To love the self, to know thyself, to understand who you are, how powerful you are, and to live that. Be a living example and share your experience and your knowledge and your wisdom in such a way you're being of service is important. So developing that sense of purpose and mission in your why, okay? You take the aligned action, you get to become the magnet, and you begin to move towards it easily and effortlessly. And trusting, and you just go out and you feel good, because emotions are energy in motion. Your emotions are also, they're energy. What you're sending out is mirrored and reflected back to you. Energy begets energy, right? So focus on the good. How do you become unstoppable? So I'm going to be ending this shortly. I hope this was valuable to you. And if it resonates and you want to learn more, of course, reach out to me and purchase the Summit replays. Check out the tools that I offer. And if you want to learn more, reach out to me. Becoming unstoppable. Whatever we imagine, we can create. Albert Einstein said, imagination is the beginning of everything. It's a preview of life's coming events. What we see in our mind, we can literally create. You guys, we can see in your mind, you can hold in your hand. Thoughts become things. But we also need that. I was saying, energy, emotion is energy, emotion. We need the emotion. Feeling is the secret. You could say, I'm worthy, but if you don't feel like you're worthy, those old identities are going to pull you back and keep you stuck and keep you in your comfort zone. All growth happens outside of your comfort zone. So, I would love to tell you more about this. I hope you enjoyed this. Know that you're already unstoppable. Claim it. It's already yours. You are unstoppable, woman, simply because you're here. You're watching this. So don't stop. You totally got this. I love you. We are Conscious Mothers Rising. We are conscious creators. I am off this for now. I love you so much. Sending you truth, love, and light all the way from Pennsylvania. Have a namaste. And namaste simply means the light within me bows to the light within you, or acknowledges the light within you. The divine within me acknowledges the divine within you. Namaste. Bye. Enjoy the summit.